Hey guys, Michael Chassis Parts Online. Wanted to talk to you about the rack fitting the crossmember. Okay, we talked about narrowing the crossmember. Okay, what I wanted to tell you is you can't just narrow a crossmember to whatever you want it to be, because there has to be a steering rack that matches it. I don't mean where that tie rod matches out here to the end or is the right length. I mean the pivot point on the rack has to be in the right spot. Okay, let's say this right here is the rack. Okay, the pivot point has to be in line. That, you know, there's a pivot, there's a boot that's right here. Okay, inside that boot there's a U-joint. Okay, that U-joint has to be in that line right there, in line from the lower bushing to the upper bushing. Okay, that pivot point of that rack has to fall in that line. If it does not, the toe will change as the suspension goes up and down. Okay, this is something that you can't get out by adjusting somewhere else or doing something else. If it pivot is here or here because you narrowed the cross member, it's not going to work. Okay, the suspension will have bump steer and it will change toes. If it's a bagged vehicle, it'll change toe a lot. Okay, another thing is, from that point, the center of that lower bushing to the center of the ball in that ball joint, that's a straight line, and that rack, that arm on that rack going out to the tie rod end has to be parallel with that rack too, or the toe will change there too. Okay, so this is geometry of suspension. It doesn't cease to exist on your vehicle. It's just the way it is. And you can't say, hey, well, I adjusted somewhere else and I got the bump steer out, or it's not that bad, or whatever, because it is. Now, if you've got a suspension that doesn't move a lot, then it's not going to be that bad if you got it close when it's aligned where it's at. But as it goes up or as it goes down, it's going to change a lot. And bump steer is pretty bad if you try to drive a vehicle in the rain with bump steer. And if it's, as I said, if it's bags, it's going to be real bad because toe's going to change a lot. Okay, so that's why our cross member is narrowed 4 3/4, not 5, not 4 1/2, 4 3/4, because the Mark 8 rack is 4 3/4 narrower. This is just something that has to be that way.